Welcome to the Frandreview. This week, this episode, Alien Covenant.
Yes. I think my most anticipated movie this year. This is the big one. Will I be disappointed?
Probably.
Find out after this.
Directed by Ridley Scott, starring Michael Fassbender, Danny Mcbride, Michael Fassbender, James Franco, Naomi Watts, Guy Pearce, Michael Fassbender. Michael Fassbender's in it.
So Alien Covenant is sort of the direct sequel, not really a direct sequel, but a sequel to Prometheus that came out, I think, 2 or 3 years ago now. It deals with the crew of the spaceship Covenant on their mission to a distant planet to start a new human colony. On their way to the planet, however, a rogue transmission is intercepted by them, and it's human in nature, so they go to explore whatever it was that sent this transmission. And anyways, things don't go to plan, obviously, and the source of this transmission isn't what they thought it was, and horror ensues, and in classic Alien fashion, some fucking spidery face fucks come a-running.
Coming off the heels of Prometheus, which I thoroughly enjoyed, I was very excited for this movie to come out, and I was definitely not disappointed. First thing I'm going to mention is the pacing, which I think that this movie really got right, that Prometheus maybe had wrong. I really thought that there was enough action, but it still kept the suspense and kept you wondering. And Prometheus just kind of fell flat there. There was long stretches of just being really slow. And this movie achieved the feel, I guess, that Ridley Scott's other Alien movies have without the lulls.
One of my favorite things about the original Alien movie is the way they did the titles. It's this super slow panning shot across this empty space background, and the lines of the letters slowly fade in to this like really unsettling low-key score. And it's a super effective slow burning way to start a movie, and I loved it in the first Alien movie. And then they did it again in Prometheus, and I was like, yes, what a fucking awesome throwback to do that title scheme again. And I was really scared that in Alien Covenant they were going to ditch it and they were going to do something different. But they didn't. They did it again, and I was so fucking impressed. They did the slow burn, the lines really slowly fading in and appearing, and I loved it. Please, like, for every Alien sequel that Ridley Scott does anyways, I don't give a fuck what anybody else does, but Ridley Scott, every Alien movie that you do, please continue that trend with your titles, because I just love it. It is such an awesome way to open those movies, and it sets the tone perfectly.
Another thing I have to highlight is Michael Fassbender's performance. I always have to give props to an actor who can pull off two distinct separate roles in a film, and he absolutely nailed it. And the subtleties and the nuance between the two versions of the android that he played were just impeccable. And at the end, when you're wondering, is it really David or is it Walter? Like, you're pretty sure it's David, but you're questioning whether it's Walter. The subtleties in his performance achieved that doubt, which made the ending just pack that much more of a punch.
So unlike the vast majority of critics, I would say, I was one of those people that really, really, really enjoyed Prometheus. My favorite part of the original Alien movie is like the first 45 minutes when they first get the signal and they first go check out the LV-426 and they see the derelict ship for the first time. All the like hyper mystery that's happening there that is never answered in the movie. It's like you never know where the ship came from. You never know where the alien came from or the xenomorph came from. You don't know where the transmission came from. Like, it's never answered. It's super ambiguous. It's really exciting, really mysterious. And it carries throughout the entire film, and that's always been one of my favorite things about the original Alien. And that's why I loved Prometheus, was they continued that trend of setting up all these like crazy things and circumstances that they don't really give you any answers for. And I've always found that to be one of the major strengths of those movies. Like, for me, good science fiction is stuff that leaves you wondering and leaves you wanting more. And the first Alien and Prometheus did that for me in a way that no other science fiction film does. It seems like most other fantasy science fiction movies kind of spoon feed you the world and spoon feed you all the answers, and And it's too easy to digest. I like it when there's, especially with science fiction, I like it when there's mystery. I like it when I don't know anything. I like it when they don't answer things. It makes me want to continue like living in that world. It makes me want to see a sequel. It makes me excited to see what little tidbits they drop the next time.
I can't really think of anything specific that I disliked about this movie, other than the two fucking dickheads behind us who commentated the whole time. I don't know what the fuck it is about our luck going to see movies for this show, but it's like every third time there's some fucking asshole, or two at least, behind us who feel the need to commentate like we're in their fucking living room watching the movie. No, we're in a fucking theater. I paid $20 to see this fucking movie. Shut the fuck up and let me watch. I don't care about your opinions. Anyways, no issues with the movie. In fact, I loved it. I thought the production design was incredible. Really seamless, in my opinion anyways. Obviously from Prometheus, they had a very similar look and feel, and the world was very cohesive between the two movies. But I also feel like if I went straight into watching Alien from watching those two movies, they would still be that common overall consistency in the design, which I thought was incredible that they were able to achieve that.
It served as a sort of like perfect bridge between Prometheus and Alien. It literally seemed to me like the first act of the movie was almost the exact same, not the exact same in the sense that it was copied, but it reminded me very fondly of the first act of the original Alien movie. And then the second act reminded me of the second act of Prometheus, and then the final act of Alien Covenant was kind of like a perfect blending of the two. I really felt like Covenant was this beautiful blending of the original Alien and Prometheus, and it worked for me so well. That being said, if you didn't like Prometheus, I don't think that you'll be too keen on Alien Covenant. I think a lot of the things that people had complaints about with Prometheus, like how the characters behaved, some of the sort of ambiguity concerning the creation of the aliens and that kind of thing, they kind of stuck to their guns a little bit with keeping it mysterious. And like, as far as the characters were concerned, like some of the characters don't exactly act rational all the time. It's not as bad as an Alien. Like an Alien, it was like the one guy runs into an evil space cobra and then his first reaction is to go and pet it, which I agree maybe isn't the most rational explanation, but it makes for good cinema, so go fuck yourself. This movie isn't quite as bad as that as far as character motivation is concerned. I felt like it was a lot more believable in this, but there were the odd few moments where it's like, would a real human being make that decision, or would they not see that coming, that kind of a thing.
Also, Danny McBride, comedy actor. I don't think he's really ever done any serious drama acting at all, and he fucking totally pulled it off. I was super impressed with his ability to, play the kind of cocky pilot guy, but then when things got emotional and, there's subtleties that he had to portray, totally bought it. I actually would like to see him maybe in more roles that, have him actually have to act. It was that good.
Gotta throw a huge shout out to Ridley Scott and the casting crew and the scriptwriters and whoever was involved with creating the story for continuing the trend of strong female leads in the Alien movies and the Prometheus movies. Because you had Sigourney Weaver, who's fucking unforgettable from all the Alien movies. Hands down, one of the best things about those movies is seeing fucking her kick some serious ass. Prometheus did it too. They had Naomi Rapace, super strong, super independent, fucking the sole survivor of the Prometheus mission, awesome. And then this movie, yeah, they had Catherine Waterston continue that trend. And I thought she did a fantastic job of being this badass, kick-ass lead female character who was totally worthy of sort of that Ellen Ripley type character.
Going back to Michael Fassbender's performance, just because it kind of goes right into the character that he portrayed, the character of David, I thought was a really interesting addition to the story, and making him a villain and the creator of the xenomorph and how that he genetically engineered this creature to extinguish humanity. I thought that was super compelling motivation, and add to the story in an interesting way. And again, was actually a fucking antagonist that was good. The motivation was believable, and I gave a fuck about him winning or losing, unlike a lot of movies that we've seen. So that was refreshing to see another solid bit of writing. Not that I didn't expect that from Ridley Scott, but have to point it out.
The acting I thought was superb across the board. There's no one who did a bad job. Billy Crudup, as always, I loved him in the first thing I saw him in that I really loved him in was in Watchmen, playing Dr. Manhattan. He was fantastic in that, and I love seeing him in everything. He did a great job in this movie. James Franco's in it for about 6 seconds total, but those 6 seconds are the best 6 seconds of your entire life. It was fucking fantastic. Michael Fassbender did an awesome job. He played 2 different characters that did a superb job of pulling that off. Danny McBride is probably the standout because he's a guy known for comedy, but he pulled off a dramatic role flawlessly. I just gotta call that character out in general. What a fucking awesome character. They kind of, during the movie, they keep teasing you. They're like, this is the guy who's gonna fucking lose his head. Like he's gonna become emotionally, what's the word? Emotionally
unstable.
If you're emotionally compromised.
Yeah.
He will be emotionally compromised. He keeps making these sort of bad decisions. He's going to do something that's going to lead to a disastrous outcome. But it never happens. He always keeps a cool head, even though tragedy is happening around him and he suffers a horrific loss. He's able to keep being a good guy and a good friend and a good companion and an excellent character overall. And you just don't see that very often in these movies. It's just like that character that they set up always fucks up, and for once they didn't subvert to your expectations. They kind of had a fresh take on it, and I really, really enjoyed his character, and I hope to see Danny McBride in more dramatic roles because I thought he just fucking knocked it out of the park and really just showed us what he's capable of in a dramatic role.
Last thing, I was really impressed with the action sequences and just in general how the xenomorph, the alien, looked. I thought it transitioned really well from, the original Alien where it was a guy in a fucking suit to now it's the CGI creature, and it looked awesome, and the action sequences were well choreographed and really interesting and suspenseful and kind of stuck to that hallmark Alien feel that I think most people love about the franchise. So that was awesome that they continued that tradition of the epic fight in the space battle with this crazy fucking thing, and along those lines, the gore. I thought the gore was incredible. The different ways that the alien and the facehugger, attacked and emerged. I thought they really did something different that we didn't see in any of the other movies, and was terrifying on its own. The idea of it coming out of your fucking back. That was fucked. That was terrifying and awesome. And yeah, just the quick bits of intense gore that you saw were just great. They served the story really well, and they, built that suspense and that fear, I guess, of this just fucked up creature that's hunting down people.
All in all, I think this is just a fantastic addition to the Alien lineup of movies, which isn't really saying much because honestly, I really like the Ridley Scott movies. Not to say I don't like Aliens, the James Cameron movie. It's a good movie, but I've always been a fan of the first Alien movie. That's always been my favorite. And Alien 3 is fine, and Alien Resurrection's fucking weird. But and those movies, I just don't really give a shit. Yeah, I was always a big fan of the first Alien. There was a video game that came out recently called Alien Isolation, which I thought was fit into that universe really, really appropriately. I loved that movie. I really liked Prometheus. And Alien Covenant just falls in that line of what I love about the Alien franchise, and it just really built on that. That being said, the only real slight issue I had with this movie was there was a sort of twist at the end, but it wasn't surprising. I think anybody who knows anything about twists would have seen it coming a mile away. It totally works, and it's acted well, and there's nothing a twist shouldn't stand because it's a twist. That's not what makes a movie good, is a twist. But it is worth noting that it wasn't as fucking mind-blowing maybe as it was intended to be. That being said, as a narrative device and as far as the plot is concerned, it served the plot really well. Totally on board. I'm totally on board for another Alien movie. This gave me more of what I wanted. I was totally satisfied with it. I actually can't wait to watch it again.
And we're back. So, Alien Covenant, pretty fucking dope movie. I gotta say.
Really enjoyed it. I was definitely nervous. I don't know why these movies make me so nervous. I don't know. I guess it's like you ever have one of those things that it's like you like it every time it happens? This is an example. Seether's like my favorite band in the world. I like every Seether album. But that sets a precedent that the next one, if I don't like it, it just makes it just like a taller tower. And that happened this year. They released a new album, and I'm not in love with it like I am all the other ones. So that was really disappointing. And it's the same thing with
Metallica is one.
Metallica.
Red Hot Chili Peppers the last couple of years for me. I'm a big Red Hot Chili Peppers guy. And last couple albums have been kind of like, nothing. I haven't disliked them, but it's not that same level of love that I had for like Stadium Arcadium and Californication. And
it just doesn't quite
live up
to the trend.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I feel about the Alien movies, or just the Alien media franchise, I should say, because I loved Alien, I love Aliens, I loved the first. Well, I didn't love the first Alien vs Predator, but I quite enjoyed the first Alien vs Predator.
It was campy and fun.
It was
awesome.
It was a fun movie. But when video games come out, or comic books come out, or movies come out, I get nervous. I'm like, is this gonna fucking fuck it up? Is this gonna make it shit for me? And luckily, the last few, I loved Prometheus, and then that video game came out, Alien Isolation, which I also loved, but that kind of set the precedent. It's like, I loved the last two things. Is Alien Covenant going to fuck that up? And then it's going to ruin it for me? And it did not. I fucking really enjoyed it.
I really loved it. Well, you heard us talk about it. I don't need to fucking recap everything I said, but I got to just, again, the one thing I do have to, like, probably for a third time in this video, you're going to hear me talk about fucking Danny McBride and how awesome he was. I did not expect him to be able to pull that off. I'm like, what did you do? What kind of casting choice is that? I thought he was either just going to be die right away.
I thought he was going to be throwaway. He was going to say four things, and it was going to be like you barely.
But he actually was like probably one of the most interesting characters in the whole movie. Actually portrayed a very strong depth and range of emotion that a lot of actors actually can't pull off at all. And just goes to show that he's not a one-trick pony. He isn't typecast at all. He is just a good actor who just happens to make money at playing that one role that he kind of typically does in comedy. So hopefully he gets more work in this genre.
I'd love it. I guess technically their characters aren't dead, so they're
not dead yet.
They could pull some wizardry and have them in the sequel. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows? But I would definitely give this a strong go see in theaters. It was a really fun horror theater. If you're at all into the horror genre or that kind of thing, it's just a really fun horror theater experience.
All the gore and all the intense moments of the things popping. They found a way to make something that you knew was going to happen, new and fresh and even more fucked up than you remember in the other movies. The
sort of implied vivisections at that one part of the movie, that part was also like chilling.
Fuck, yeah.
It's weird that horror movie, like you'd think that by this time in history we would have seen everything. Like they can't be surprising us.
I wasn't expecting, especially with Alien. You know, going into an Alien movie, the face hugger, and they're gonna, but it's still. I was like, oh fuck, every time it happened, and. Combination of reasons why that worked, but it worked really well. And I gotta give this a solid 6 tears and 7 bacons.
Nice.
Just a good movie. Definitely go see it in theaters. Give fucking Ridley Scott more of your money.
Yeah, let him keep making movies.
Yeah.
That guy knows what he's fucking doing.
Yeah, even just for the sole purpose of I want another one of these, so give them your money so we can
get a sequel.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be curious to see how the box office
does. I would
does.
love at least a trilogy of these
new ones.
New ones. That would be awesome.
That would be really nice. And there are still unanswered questions, so we can't stop yet. We gotta keep going. Even though the unanswered questions is like why I love the movie. So that's interesting. That's interesting. We'll see how I like it when they start answering more of the questions. Thanks very much for watching. We might go see Baywatch next week. Not totally sure if that works out. We're definitely going to go see Wonder Woman. That I am sure of. We can't miss those DC movies because they're just way too ripe for these things.
especially this next one, is like probably one of the most anticipated movies just in general of a long time.
First,
next to like any Star Wars movie, I would say.
First female-led superhero movie from DC and Marvel,
as well as the DC's third venture in this new
fourth.
Oh, right, fourth, right.
Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad.
I forgot about Man of Steel. I guess Man of Steel, people didn't like it, but it was critically acclaimed.
No, it wasn't acclaimed. It was very lukewarm. It was just like 70% across the board. So it's a fine movie, but it's not exceptional.
They came out of the gate pretty meh, and then went fucking nosedive down with the next two.
The problem with Man of Steel was the marketing, and they marketed it as the Dark Knight for Superman, and it was like, if you're gonna market the movie that way,
you have to deliver.
You can't then deliver like a Superman movie. So it's fine. It's fun to watch.
But everything I've seen of Wonder Woman, but again, I've seen this. We've talked about this before. The other two, I was like, Suicide Squad. It could be really good.
Yeah.
The trailers and everything I've seen of Wonder Woman looks fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So I really hope.
And the theme.
The theme is
fucking amazing.
If they live up to it, anyways, you'll hear our thoughts later.
Yeah.
But
stay tuned.
Baywatch or Wonder Woman or both.
Yeah.
Because definitely Wonder Woman.
Maybe Baywatch.
Baywatch. Yeah.
I want to see Baywatch. We'll see. Thanks very much for watching. Catch you cats later.